Good afternoon, Rishabh.
Good afternoon, sir.
Congratulations on a wonderful performance in CAT 2021.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
And how is the feeling? कैसा लग रहा है सब कुछ?
Yeah, decently happy with it. Could have got more, but yeah, decently happy with what happened.
I'm saying 99.71 percentile. You should receive a call from almost all the IIMs.
Fingers crossed, sir.
And then the next stage to cross would be the group discussion and personal interview process. Hopefully, that will go well for you as well.
Yes, sir. Fingers crossed. Hoping to say the same.
Okay. Rishabh, can you tell us something about yourself?
Cool. So, beginning, I'll just give you, let you know my basic coordinates. So, as you know, my name is Rishabh Srivastava. I'm a final year undergraduate student in the Department of Mechanical Engineering at IIT Kharagpur. I've been pretty much of an academics-oriented child all my life. And yeah, enjoy talking to friends, having a gala time with everyone, and enjoy interacting with new people. Yeah, and currently, I appeared for CAT 2021 and I've scored a 99.71 percentile. My sectional percentiles would be 90.55 in VARC. It was a small, weaker side for me. DILR was approximately 97.26 percentile. Didn't go as planned. And quant being my strongest area, I secured a 99.98 percentile in that section. So yeah,
Okay.
tell you about me.
Now, how did you let's say you said VA was your weakest section.
Yeah.
And then still manage decent percentile. Let's say 90 percentile plus is a good percentile. So how did you go about with your preparations for CAT 2021? What did you have in mind? And how did you go about with it? Let's break it in individual sections. Let's look at VA, then we'll look at DILR, and then we'll look at QA. Fine. So VA would be one section that I would like to have your viewpoints on.
Definitely. So as it goes with the stereotypes, VARC is considered difficult for engineers in general, and that same applied to me as well. So VARC was always a nightmare for me. So initially, when I started, I had heard that reading books helps. I tried that same, but it didn't help. It didn't help me. So I had to come up with a new strategy. So the new strategy would be to attempt most of the questions. And again, it didn't help for me. So then I had to come up with another new strategy. And my final strategy was I'll attempt only about 15 to 16 questions and try to get most of them correct. Because if we divide a CAT 40-minute test, 40-minute section into, since in CAT we got 24 questions, so 40 minutes for 24 questions, that's even less than 2 minutes for one question. But if we divide it into 15 questions that I target to attempt, it would be more than approximately 2.5 minutes. So this gives you the bandwidth to think, that relaxes my mind, and it helps me to get to the correct answer. So this was the strategy which I followed in VARC. Now the major chunk of it was selecting the questions. So I always went with VA first because I felt even if I get it wrong, even if I start with the wrong question, I'll waste a maximum of a minute. But if I start with the wrong RC, I'll waste approximately 5 to 6 minutes. Right? So starting with VA always made sense for me. And summary questions, which was something which I felt comparatively easier. But parajumbles was something which was very difficult for me, but I always tried to mark at least something to the best of my knowledge, because since there were no negative marking in parajumbles, as well as the odd one out sentences. And talk about RCs, I always targeted that I want to attempt 2 RCs. And attempting RCs was mostly on the basis of how acquainted are you to the topic, and if the questions are direct or indirect. So something which was really helpful for me this year. But what happened with me in CAT 2021 slot 1 was I actually missed one particular RC, which afterwards every faculty and every person who was attempted told that was the easiest RC, and I actually missed that RC. I just read the first few lines and I felt it does not strike a chord with me, and neither do the question. So I just left it and I attempted one of the most difficult RCs. But again, it just panned out well, because I always targeted a 90 percentile in VARC. I never even expected more than VARC. So it just panned out well for me. So VARC
that's perfect as a strategy. I am saying if it did not strike a chord with you, that means that RC was not for you. Correct, I am saying the strategy that you took was possibly the best strategy. I'll attempt 15 questions, 16 questions, and I'll score 12, 13. I get a 90 plus percentile. Perfectly fine.
Exactly.
So that is what. Continue, Rishabh.
Because I always knew that VARC is something for me. VARC is just something that I need to cross the cutoffs in a respectable way. And I always knew to get me to that 99 percentile, that'll be my quants. That'll take me to the 99 percentile.
Okay.
I was VARC, I just need to cross it so that I'm that does not become a barrier for me to get into any of the IIMs.
Wonderful as a strategy. Wonderful as what I would say, and that is what we have been recommending students all throughout. Keep focus on your strengths. Wonderful. Now, the second would come DILR. DILR has been a nightmare for a lot of students. Students who are good as well, students who are bad as well. With a lot of questions, it comes how well you have practiced throughout your entire preparation. Fine. So, how did you go about with DILR?
So I'll definitely like to recommend one thing from Career Launcher when it comes to DILR. The Aspiration has the Aspiration.ai website, which we have at Career Launcher, has topic tests, which is a test of approximately 30 minutes, and it has 2 DI or 2 LR sets, and there are approximately 15 to 30 of them. Do solve them; they are really good because they are divided into 3 levels: basic, medium, and advanced, if I'm not wrong. And I remember the first advanced. I solved approximately 5 to 6 basic ones. They were good for starters. The medium was also good. I remember when the first advanced test I took, that was a 30-minute test. It had 2 sets, and my head was lit. I legit had a hard headache when I actually finished that test. It was so damn confusing. But that actually helps. That actually helps train your brain in case you are stuck with the wrong set in the final day. And it did happen with me. In the first 20 minutes, I was able to attempt 2 sets, 10 questions done in the first 20 minutes. But in the next 20 minutes, I could attempt only 3 questions because both the sets seemed difficult, and I knew I had to pick one of them, and I tried that and got 2 of them. Among the 3, I got 2 of them wrong. Right. So the final DILR didn't go well as planned for me. I always expected much better in DILR, but anyway, it doesn't. Honestly, can't do anything about it. But DILR strategy, the topic tests are something which I would definitely recommend because there are not many concepts in DILR which you need to master. It's all about practice and how much are you acquainted with the different types of sets that CAT can possibly ask you. And for that, the number of basic tests that Career Launcher offers, the number of topic tests that Career Launcher offers could be a really good starting point, as well as can help you throughout the course of your CAT journey.
Wonderful. Now, studying at IIT Kharagpur, being an engineer, QA would be one of the easiest sections to master for you.
Exactly. So yeah.
Yeah. So how did you go about with QA? QA is something that I would not consider too difficult for you.
Yeah.
So QA, but again, there are a few points that people need to keep in mind while they are solving the QA section. What would be those key points?
So I would say quant is always about time management. It's never about the number of concepts, because most of the concepts are there which you can master in a decent amount of time. That's what I feel. So this might be a biased opinion because considering I got a good score in quant and I always had a good hand at quant. So it might be biased, but that's what I feel, that mastering all the concepts of quant would not be very difficult for a serious aspirant. And if he or she can practice approximately 20 to 50 questions per day for approximately 7 to 8 months, mastering quant would not be that difficult. Now, the only thing that comes in quant is time management, because in DILR, it's going to be 4 sets, right? 4 to 5 sets. So, and if you put your eyes on one set, you have solved 4 questions. So it's not actually solving one question, it's actually solving 4 or 6 questions, right? In an RC also, it's the same thing. But in quant, this doesn't work. If you're putting your eyes on one question, you're actually getting only 3 marks for that question. So time management becomes the key. So ideally, if everyone divides their time into a 40-minute time into approximately, I would say 5 sets of 8 minutes each, and puts targets for 8 minutes. Let's say we had 22 questions. 22 questions in quant. If I divide it into 5 sets, that'll be approximately 4 questions per set, and 2 sets would be of 5 questions. So if I put a target of solving 5 questions in 8 minutes, that'll seem a lot easier than solving 22 questions in 40 minutes. That actually relaxes your brain, and that actually helps you in managing your time more effectively in that 40-minute slot to get most of the questions right in quants.
Okay. Now, one thing as an advice to the 2022 aspirants, I get across a lot of students saying, unless and until I have completed the syllabus, I'll not take a mock.
So,
how many mocks did you take?
I had, I would say I had taken approximately 35 to 40 mocks, if I'm not wrong.
That's a wonderful number. That is what I wanted to, invariably, I wanted to listen to that exactly. So this is what
yeah. So I started taking mocks in approximately May, because that's when mostly all the coaching institutes begin their mock session. So I started with during that time, and what I feel is if you just remove the factor of quants, there's no defined syllabus when it comes to DILR or VARC. Because there's definitely not going to be any syllabus for VA for RCs. For VA, you can actually study the basic concepts of English. They are important. So what I feel is there's no defined syllabus. So when you do not have a defined syllabus, if you're not attempting the mocks, it's just because you're not that confident enough, right? So the best thing to do is just trust yourself. You can do it. Just give the mock. How does it even matter if my first mock result is not good? That's not what people are going to see. That's not what IIMs are going to see. What matters is how much you score in the end. And the score in the end would be improved only if you start taking mocks from the very beginning, so that you actually get to know where you're actually standing. Until and unless you hit the reality, you cannot improve. So the way I look at mocks, the first mock, how I look at it is that it just gives me a place that this is where I am and this is where I have to reach. If I do not, if everyone knows where they want to reach, but if you don't know where you actually are, how do you know the place that you have to cover? That's why I feel starting mocks early and with no, I would say, tension in mind, no pressure in mind of how much I'm gonna score is what will help you in scoring more marks. If you wait to complete the syllabus, there are two problems. One, the time is going to be lessened up. People are going to go ahead of you because they're going to start taking mocks in approximately May, April. Some people even start before that, right? So if you do not take your mocks earlier, people are going to go ahead of you and you're going to lose your confidence. So just embrace yourself that it's going to be good and just start it. With a heavy heart, maybe for some people, if you're a bit more nervous than others, but start it because it's going to be good. The journey it's an excellent journey and the results will say the same.
Well, you are exactly telling me all those things, and listening it from you, it really feels heartening that these are exact suggestions that all the 2022 aspirants should follow.
Exactly.
Okay. And since you have gone down the path, yeah. Continue, Rishabh. Continue.
Yeah, I was just going to say the same thing which you just mentioned, that these are the suggestions which actually help you, right? If you're very afraid of taking the first step, you're never going to complete the journey. Just need to just do it. People are there to support you, but you are the person who has to take that step. Everyone is there to support you. Everyone is there to guide you in how to go about it, but you will have to trust yourself and trust the process and trust the mentors that are around you and believe that they are going to help you in whatever way they can. And that'll be my 2 cents for the CAT 2022 aspirants.
Agreed, Rishabh. It is about, there are two things, but what you are talking in terms of is very simply what I understand. Trust yourself and trust whatever there is there in front of you. So once you have that trust factor, so a lot of doubts automatically are eliminated. And that is what helps you succeed. Wonderful, Rishabh. I think I am done with all my questions. Hope that you have a good time with respect to the PDP preparations, group discussion, personal interview, and hope that June 2022 sees you in your dream IIM.
So thank you so much for the best wishes, Sandy. Thank you.
Okay, Rishabh. Okay.
It was great interacting with you.
Bye.